Have you ever told yourself that I will start when I am more confident? I will speak when I am less nervous. I will apply for the job when I feel more qualified. I will start the business when I know enough about this business. I will post the video when I am completely comfortable. I will make the change that I want when I am finally ready. Wow. But here is something that I really want you to think about, okay? And this is it. What if you don't become ready before you start? What if you starting is actually part of you becoming ready? Because sometimes we think confidence comes first and then action comes second. But if you can calm down and then look critically, you are really going to see clearly for yourself that in many areas of life, it is the opposite that always happens. And so, please, I am begging you, you just have to take the first step. And I want you to have this in mind that of a truth, you are going to struggle. You are definitely going to learn. You are going to improve. And somewhere along the way, you will become more confident. So today, I want to really talk about why waiting to feel ready might be the very thing that is actually keeping you stuck in life. Now, I want you to know that when you tell yourself that I am not ready, it can really sound like wisdom, isn't it? But then the honest truth is this: sometimes you are genuinely not ready because maybe we need more knowledge, more preparation. We need more practice, and that is reasonable, okay? But the truth is, sometimes when you say to yourself that I am not ready, it is simply fear that is just wearing a very intelligent disguise, okay? But although it really sounds responsible, it sounds logical, it sounds like we are actually planning, but underneath the I am not ready might actually be I am afraid that I will fail. I am afraid that people will judge me. I am afraid that I will look inexperienced. I am afraid that I will discover that I am not as capable as I ought to be. And because those feelings are uncomfortable with us, guess what? We keep on, preparing, but we never begin at all. But here is, a clear difference between you actually preparing and then you hiding inside preparation. I want you to know that you don't need confidence first before ever you take the first step. Okay? Now, I want you to think about yourself actually learning to ride a bicycle. You don't become confident in riding the bicycle by you standing beside the bicycle for 6 months, thinking that one day I will feel ready. But if truly you are really serious about you riding this bicycle, you are actually learning how to ride a bicycle yourself, then you just get on the bicycle. And the truth is this: when you get on the bicycle, you are definitely going to wobble. You will fall sometimes. You will adjust. You will try again. And eventually, that is the fact. Your body learns what your mind couldn't fully understand beforehand. Okay? Now, life can really be like that also. And that is why you can't think your way into every kind of confidence, because some confidence have to be experienced, like you have to do the thing yourself. I want you to be aware that your first attempt is supposed to be imperfect. And this is something that many people really struggle with in real life, because they want their first attempt to always look like someone's 100th attempt. For example, they want their video to look very professional. They want their first speech to sound polished. They want their first business to be so, successful. They want their first conversation to be effortless. But the question is why? Your first attempt is allowed to look like a first attempt because you are really learning. And nobody becomes excellent by skipping the awkward stage. So if your first attempt is imperfect, hello, you do not have to really condemn yourself because it is not good. And I am saying to you that it is good, since your first attempt really gives you something that you can really improve on. Okay, now what I am about to tell you right now is very, very important. And this is it. Stop asking yourself, what if I fail? Let us change the question. So instead of you to constantly ask yourself, what if I fail? Please and please, you should rather continue to ask yourself this very important question, which is, what will I learn if this thing that I am really doing or about to do does not work out for me as I have planned it to be? That is a completely different mindset altogether. Don't you think so? Failure does not have to be a final verdict about your ability, because sometimes failure is an information passed to you. Failure tells you pump and plain to your face that, hello, this approach that you used didn't work. Now you can try another approach. Maybe you need more practice. Maybe you need better information to work with. Maybe you need help. Maybe the goal, itself needs adjusting. And what I really love about failure is that failure can really give you the needed information that thinking alone can never give you. Okay, now you might be shocked at what I am about to tell you right now, but then it is the honest truth for real. Okay, now listen. Oh, other people are not thinking about you as much as you think. Okay, let us be honest with ourselves right now. A lot of hesitation comes from this question: what will people say? What if they laugh at me? What if they think that I am not good enough? What if they now notice my mistakes and then lapses? But here is something freeing for you. People are usually busy thinking about their own lives, and that is a fact. The mistake you made that have been replaying for the past 3 days in your head. The truth is sometimes someone else may have, really forgotten about it in 3 minutes, but you are struggling with it. The awkward sentence that you made, that you keep on remembering. Sometimes the honest truth is this: people did not even hear it in the first place. And even if they hear it, they may not even remember it again as you may think. And even if they remember it, the question is, who cares? You are often experiencing your mistakes from the inside, and other people are just seeing only a small moment of it. So Don't give a 5 minute mistake that you have made the power to now start controlling the next 5 years of your life. Okay? Hello. You can be nervous and still move with confidence. Confidence is often misunderstood. People think that confident people don't feel nervous at all, but that is not necessarily true, my dear friend, because sometimes confidence looks like I am nervous, so, but then I am going anyway. Your hands may shake, fine. Your voice may tremble, fine. Your stomach may feel uncomfortable to you, fine. You may have doubts, fine. And you can still take the step. Okay? Courage isn't the absence of what discomfort, because sometimes courage is simply you actually deciding that this discomfort is not going to make my decision for me. And so you should stop making your future to pay for your past. Maybe you tried something before and then it didn't work. So now, every new opportunity now reminds you of the failure. And so you start thinking, what if it happens again? But the person that is attempting something today is not necessarily the same person who failed yesterday. Therefore, the honest truth is this: you have learned, you have changed, you have new information, you may have developed new skills. So don't let an old result automatically predict a new attempt for you, because your past can really teach you, you know, without your past actually becoming the prison that cages you for life. I have a secret for you, and this is it. You should start small enough that fear can't really control the whole decision you make again in your life. Okay? Sometimes the goal is too big, and that is the truth. And so the goal that is big now makes you to start thinking, I have to completely change my life. And that is overwhelming, isn't it? So instead, ask yourself, what is one thing that I can do today? For example, if you want to start a business, you don't need to build the entire business today. So what do? You research about the business. And this is what the first step. Don't become, an amazing speaker today, but you should rather speak for 5 minutes. Don't completely transform your confidence today, but do one thing that you have been avoiding to do today. I want you to know that small actions really matters, because they give your brain the evidence it needs or the evidence it is looking for. For example, I can move. And once you move, the next step becomes easier for you to see. Did you know that confidence comes from you actually keeping the promises that you have really made to yourself? Okay, now, here is something very, very powerful that I have for you. Okay, every time that you tell yourself, I will do it tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes the next week, you know what? You are really teaching yourself unknowingly to use something. And what is that? You are teaching yourself that your own words don't really matter so much to you. But the opposite is also true, okay? When you say to yourself, I am going to do this, and you actually do it, you know what? You build self-trust. It doesn't have to be something very huge. For example, you were able to wake up when you said you would. That is something. You were able to finish the task that you really promised yourself that you will finish, and you've done something. You were able to practice when you said you would. Now, you were able to take the uncomfortable step. And that is something that you have done and you should be proud of. And every small promise that you keep to yourself becomes an evidence. It becomes a proof. And you know what? Evidence really builds confidence. And so you should stop waiting because you don't need everyone's permission to begin anything you want to in your life. Sometimes we are waiting for someone else to tell us that, yes, you are good enough before we know that we are good. Yes, you should do it before we know we can. Yes, this is the right time. Now, the truth is, advice can really be helpful, but then encouragement can really help. But eventually, you have to make your own decisions yourself because if you always depend on someone else to approve of your next move in life, then you will constantly be waiting and then maybe forever. I'm not kidding. So, what am I trying to say right now? You can listen to people, it is very, very important. You can learn from people, it is very, very important. You can respect people's existence and still say to yourself that I am going to give this a try. Okay? I want you to ask yourself a better question. And so instead of you to be asking yourself, am I ready? You should rather try by asking yourself this question: what would being ready enough look like? Maybe you don't need 100% confident at all, as you may be thinking. Maybe you just need 60% preparation. Maybe you just need to know the first step to take. Maybe you need to accept the fact that you will learn the rest along the way as you go. Because if you define readiness as I must have zero fear and complete certainty, then the truth is you may never qualify. But if readiness really means to you that I know enough to take the next responsible step, then suddenly you can move. And so please give yourself the permission to be a beginner. This might really be the permission that you've been waiting for, okay? You are allowed to be new at something. You are allowed to be awkward. You are allowed to ask questions and don't feel shy about it. You are allowed to make mistakes in life. You are allowed to improve slowly. You are allowed to look inexperienced while you are still gaining experience. And that is why you don't have to be impressive on the first day. You just have to be willing to keep on learning. This is very, very important, okay? Because every expert that you and I know about today, the person was once a beginner who looked uncertain too. So maybe you don't need more confidence at all, as you might be thinking. Maybe you need more confidence. The confidence that will make you to know that you can try, you can survive your mistakes, you can learn, you can keep the promise that you really make to yourself. You can handle discomfort, and when you can get that confidence is by you doing and not by you just waiting, not by you having endless thinking, not by you watching another 100 motivational videos, but by you taking the next step. Okay? Now, so the next time that you hear yourself saying that, I am not ready yet, please pause and then ask yourself, am I genuinely unprepared or am I simply just uncomfortable? If you genuinely need more preparation, then you should go ahead and prepare. Learn and then practice. But if the only thing that is really stopping you is fear, then you have to take a small step. Mind you, you don't have to jump. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to feel fearless. But all you just have to do is for you to what? Move. Because the truth is sometimes, the confidence that you are really waiting for is hiding on the other side of action that you have been avoiding. Okay. And perhaps the version of you that you are hoping to become is actually waiting for you to give yourself the permission to begin. If this video really gave you a perspective that you have not really considered yet before, then you should consider subscribing to Simplicity in Peak channel, because I want this channel to be a place whereby you don't just watch videos, but I want it to be a place whereby you live with something that really changes the way and then manner that you think. And so I love to hear from you in the comment section of this video. What is one thing that you have been waiting to feel ready for? Maybe it is starting something. Maybe it is for you to start speaking up for yourself. Maybe it is for you to start changing your direction in life. Maybe it is for you to start creating something. Maybe it is for you to start applying for an opportunity, or it is simply for you to start believing in yourself again. Please, please share only what you are really comfortable with, okay? And that is what I encourage you to do here always. And remember that there is no wrong answer here, because someone else is reading your comments and the person might really be standing exactly where you are right now in your life. And so the words that you comment might give them the courage to take their first step. Okay. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And as your dear friend, I am encouraging you to keep on growing, keep on learning, and remember always that you don't have to really feel ready before ever you can really begin, because sometimes you become ready because you began. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video, and I will see you again in my next video. I love you. Okay?